All right. I want to welcome you to this guest interview for Stream Like a Boss. This is a series that we're doing, and I'm super excited and just thrilled to have my special guest, my very special guest, and someone that I see as a good friend, WendyY Bailey. So, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya. We've known each other for a long time, so it's always fun when we get to play together.
It is. It is. And every time I talk to you, WendyY, I get you drop knowledge, even if you don't know you're dropping it. I walk away like, ooh, I need to make a change in that area
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
single
and I
time.
feel the same way. We just connect in so many ways, that I love it. So thank you again for having me.
I couldn't do the series without having you. So I'm going to do this because I know everybody else may or may not know who you are, but I'm going to scan through your actual official bio. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about who you are beyond the bio. All right.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So WendyY Bailey, called a force of nature. And I agree with that. And a trendsetter in the coaching industry because of her fearless approach to innovation. WendyY Bailey has been supporting entrepreneurial leaders, coaches, speakers, trainers, and consultants for more than 19 years. She is a best-selling author and a sought-after speaker for her fierce and dynamic dedication to inspiring individuals and organizations to create extraordinary results. Goodness, affectionately called WendyY by her clients, business associates, and colleagues. She is an internationally known thought leader and has made a global impact in coaching as an innovative CEO and mentor coach, serving across the US and in countries like Sweden and Italy. So again, I want to welcome you with all the fervor I can give. I just want to tell you, I'm so excited that we get a chance to talk again. And I want to know, WendyY, what's beyond the bio? What should people know about you beyond what I just shared?
Wow. And it's funny, even though I crafted that bio, every time I hear it, it sounds like somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, so for me, listening to the bio and thinking beyond the bio is sort of like pinch me. It's been more than 19 years and I'm still here. I'm still doing what I love. I'm still, committed to my purpose. Like I know I was called and purpose to do this. And, beyond the bio, what it doesn't say is I really, really, really love what I do. You know what I mean? Maybe you get a glimpse of that, a hint of that in my bio, but I'm really committed to doing what I love. When I was in high school, Tanya, you know how you go to the guidance counselor before you're going to college, and they kind of talk to you about what you want to do and assess and support you and stuff. I said I was going to be a marketing consultant or a psychologist. I came pretty doggone close, didn't I?
You came pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I said. But it was sort of this journey that looks like that, right? It wasn't this. It was, I zigged and I zagged and I zagged and I zigged and found my way here. And even in terms of the 19 plus years, the reality is I've had a lot of iterations of myself within that time period. Yeah. And I've had a lot of iterations, not a lot, but a few iterations of my brand and the work that I do as well. So, the thing that you don't see or haven't seen in that bio is some of the zigging and zagging and some of those business reinvention, self-reinvention, rebranding stuff that has happened over the years. The last thing I'll say is, and this may have been a question that we were going to get to, but it just makes sense for me to answer it now. Everything counts. Mm-hmm. Like when you have longevity in your business, and you know this, what happens is you look back and you say, oh, I'm able to do this because I did that, right? Or I'm able to understand this because of that. And everything counts, every conversation, every relationship, every argument, every,
Yes.
every training, everything that you've ever done or experienced really prepares you for right now. The key to that is to take away the lessons from each experience, from each encounter, from everything that you go through, is to take away the lessons. Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that, because sometimes we think in the moment when we're going through some type of adversity, whether it's, regular life or it's our business life, and we ask, well, why do I have to go through this? But I totally get it. I agree. Later on, we look back and think, okay, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't know what to do in this moment now.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Just take the lessons. Recognize everything you encounter is an opportunity to learn. And when you approach it that way, even if it's really, difficult or challenging, and let me just be clear, 19 plus years doesn't mean that it's been easy sailing the whole time. I've experienced some major adversity, some catastrophic challenges that could have ended not just my business, but my life because of my health. So everything, everything, when you look at it, has a lesson. And if you pay attention to the lesson, then it ends up not being quite as painful, first of all. And second of all, it really supports you in whatever's next.
When you think about that, WendyY, I know that there are a lot of different things that have happened in your business. I'm just going to ask you this, and this is not on my scripted questions, but do you feel like, is there anything that you regret about the choices that you've made to get you to where you are?
I don't know that I would call it regret. And let me tell you why. I started my business in June of 2002. And the first couple of years, I ran my business and built my business afraid. Okay. Afraid of everything, afraid of succeeding, afraid of failing, afraid of, moving forward, afraid of, staying in the same place, moving back, all of that. Right. And in about 2004, I kind of had to come to terms with my fear. And I found a coach who at that point really understood what fear looked like. And her message resonated with me, Rhonda Britton. And she had created the Fearless Living Institute. So I bought the book, I studied the book, I became a leader, in her Fearless Living community. And I went to a truly transformational event. What do they call it now? I don't know what they call it now. Back then they called it a Fearless Foundation weekend. And so you were with her for with her, not her, but it was actually her coaches, for 3 days over the weekend. And can I tell you, I was snotting and sobbing, and everybody else was snotting and sobbing right there with me, because we were doing some real deep work. Yeah. But the big thing that came out of the Fearless Living work, me being a leader, me being part of it, me really understanding it, was fear. I came to know that fear is something that's always going to be part of your existence, but it's how you show up and respond to that fear that makes a difference. And when you understand the power in how you show up, you can manage fear differently. Okay. So to answer your question, when I think about the events that I've had, when I think about the catastrophes or near catastrophes that I've experienced, the health challenges that I've had, I don't have regrets, because at that time, I know I did what I could to manage whatever that situation is. It's sort of you do the best, Dr. Maya Angelou, you do the best with what you know now. When you know better, you do better, right? And that whole Fearless Living experience taught me to respond, not react, and to face fear, knowing that I totally have choice on my side, and I can show up in choice, and whatever it is okay.
That's powerful. That's really powerful.
It was for me too. Yeah,
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
And it's life changing when you get to experience moments like this. I want to piggyback off of what you're talking about with the showing up, because part of the reason for this series is that I really, really want to encourage people to show up on
Mhm,
camera. For those who have any inkling that they think they might
mhm.
need to try video, I want them to jump in and try it and at least see if it might be for them. So, when did you first start using video for your business, and what was that experience like?
Wow. I think I started using video probably within the past, I'm going to say 12 years maybe. And when I first started, I was afraid to go on camera. I was like really particular about how I looked on camera, and I was anal about all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And I think that I started out just by doing videos to talk about something that I knew. Maybe it was like a little content video, or it was something where I was greeting somebody who had joined a program or something like that. I think that's where I started. And for me, I'm an extrovert, and I'm like an undercover geek as well. So between the two of those, I moved through whatever discomfort I had about it, because I was afraid too. I was nervous about getting on video. But what I found is once I started, I really liked it. You know what I mean? So I made sure that I recorded more videos over time, right? And I got more strategic about what videos I recorded and what content I would share. And then when live streaming happened, oh my gosh, I was like, oh, I'm totally getting into this. And everything that I do in terms of marketing and creating visibility for my brand, I'm always looking at how I can incorporate video into the process, because video is here to stay and it's only going to grow, right? Beyond where it is now. In 2018, I think it was either 2018 or 2017. I read a statistic that said by the time, I want to say, I want to say it was 2017 or 2018 for sure. By the time they get to 2020, 80% of content on Facebook will be video content. And when I read that, it stuck in my head. 80% of content is going to be video. I was like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Anything I do, everything I do has to include video. Has to. Even if it's 30 seconds, it has to include video. Fast forward to 2020, 21. I have two YouTube channels. Yeah, 2020 went by real fast. I have two YouTube channels. I'm recording video, several times a week. Video is just part of what I do to run my business. It really is.
It just became integrated. It just
It
became a
did.
thing. It's
And it
natural.
had to for me,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be, I feel like content creator is a middle name for me, right? I really love creating content. I know how to repurpose content like crazy. And so for me, it gave me another really powerful vehicle to actually create content,
Yeah.
right? I did a blogging challenge in 2017. First, it was 5 days, and it was 10 days. And what I started out doing was I did a Facebook Live, and I talked about 12 reasons you should be blogging. Then I took that and I broke it down into so many different pieces, so that when I repurposed the content and I ran a video marketing challenge later, I could show them how you could repurpose that same content into about 15 or 18 pieces of separate content, just based on length and content and how you wanted to string it all together. That's the beauty of video marketing, because of the vehicle it gives you for creating content.
Because it gives you audio, it gives you image, it gives you anything, any pieces that you want to take. It gives you text, it gives you all kinds of options. Yeah,
It's also
absolutely.
about engaging with people. When people see you on camera, there's a sense of familiarity that they have that they don't get when they're reading something, or they're
That's right.
reading it on the screen or downloading it or something. It's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same. I had somebody, and this is relevant, even though it wasn't video. I had someone that I met on Clubhouse. She comes to my rooms fairly frequently. And she sent me a YouTube video, and she said, I was listening to this and this sounds just like you. I just got tickled because people connect with you,
Yeah.
with their eyes and with their ears, and they see your mannerisms. Video is amazing for that.
Yeah.
Deeper
And they
connection
feel
for
like they
sure.
know you, right? Like you said, the familiarity.
Mhm.
What do you think, if there were any roadblocks, like you embraced it, and being the extrovert that you are, and not only an extrovert, but somebody who recognizes opportunities and goes for it, because I know that about you.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you see as potential roadblocks? Was there anything that you felt like, oh, I need this, or I need that in place, or I need to update this? What were the things, the challenges that you found when you did start using video more vigorously?
I think for me, as an undercover geek, the thing that I wanted to be able to do was to record them clean without having to go through a whole lot of editing. And what
Yeah.
I discovered over time was those flubs, those, missteps, mistakes became part of the experience that I was creating on video for people who were watching.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
for me, it was understanding very clearly that I don't have to edit videos. I don't need to learn how to edit videos,
Yeah.
right? And because I don't have to do that, it really supports me in showing up at my best whenever I start to record a video. Did I answer your question?
You did,
Okay.
because I think sometimes people use that as something that holds them back. Oh, well, it's not perfect and I need to get it produced and I
Yeah,
don't want to
done is
spend
better than
money.
perfect for sure.
Because
Get
I've
it
had
out there.
people
Yeah, go
try
ahead.
to sell me on, you need to get your videos produced. So why don't you send them to us and we'll charge you
Yeah,
$1,000 a month and
right.
produce them. And I was
Of
like,
course they
no,
will. Yeah, of course they will. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good
yeah.
over here.
And the done is better than perfect way of approaching videos really,
Yeah.
really helps a lot. The other thing that I realized, and I'm looking at my desk, the other thing I realized is that you can switch things up very quickly.
Yeah.
Like one of the tips I'll share with you that I do, I have like, actually, I have too many here, but I have several pairs of earrings under my microphone. And just changing my earrings can change my whole look,
Yeah.
right? So I can record a new video just by changing my earrings. I have, almost all of my glasses. I am an eyewear collector. I have all of my glasses over here in the little cases, so I can change up my eyewear, my earrings, and I have a whole new look. And I can record a video in the same day,
I
right?
like that.
I can change my shirt, all of that kind of stuff. So it's easy when you kind of get into a rhythm of it. So the one thing I would say for folks who are watching is create consistency, whatever that looks like for you. If that's once a week, then do it, right? Make sure you do it and you stick it out consistently. Once a
That's right.
week, same time, same place, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's
Even
the
if you get
start.
behind, you
That's
still pick
right.
it back up and keep
That's
going.
right. Yeah, I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind on some of my live videos, but videos are still being published, right?
Mhm.
They're guest videos because I have a web TV show and audio podcast. So I totally believe in video, and no matter how the consistency may lag, don't drop it. Keep it going because people need to see you. People need to experience you. The other thing I'll say about videos, and then we can move on if you're ready. People get to know you from your mannerisms. Like
Yes.
I talk with my hands. So
Yes.
people get to see me talking with my hands. And, I've had to kind of tone them down because, I can be like this sometimes. but people get to know you and like you and trust you because of what they see on camera. Like
It's
it's
true.
it's an immediate way to build rapport and connection with and community with people.
And you know what I love about what you just said is that your mannerisms, whatever that might be for you,
Mhm.
let it show, like,
Yeah.
because that's you. So you talked about being an introvert. I mean, an extrovert, WendyY, and I'm a big old introvert,
Yeah.
but still somehow we still both do video
Mm-hmm.
and we still are passionate about it and we do it in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. And we
Yeah.
don't have the same personality. And that's what I want people to understand is that there is no magic to you trying to be somebody else. When you
Not
see
at
other
all.
people's videos, you don't have to be like them. You can
Right.
fully be yourself, but just be at yourself's best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten on videos, you know, when I first started doing videos, like I said, what about 15 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, I would never have gotten on camera with no makeup. Never. Can I tell you that some days I'm like, I'm not putting on makeup today, but I'm gonna do this live. You know what I mean? I'm not putting on makeup today, but I'm gonna go and record this video.
Yep.
Be on a session, be on a call, whatever it is. It's just not that serious. You know what I mean? It's just not that serious for you to, because people aren't looking at you like that. People are really looking for the kind of value you can add. And so
And the ones that are looking at you like that, they really aren't meant to be
client. Yeah.
That's right. They're not meant for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do it afraid, do it well without focusing on perfection, and create the consistency that you want people to have to get to know, trust, and like you.
Yeah.
You know,
you really answered. You answered the next few questions. I had some questions, but you just kind of answered.
But you know what? I tell people all the time, it's sort of like wind her up and get her going, and she's gonna just
go. I'm gonna ask you a very specific question though that you haven't answered yet, but I know you know the answer because you have a specific technique for this. One question I often get asked, and I don't wear my glasses all the time, but I know you do, and you just talked about switching them out. How do you prevent glare on your glasses? How are you doing that?
With the way that I do it, you know, it's a great question because I just started wearing my glasses and making it part of my brand about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. Anyway, when I started doing a regular video, web TV show, regular live streaming, all of that kind of stuff, I knew that I had to address that. So I couldn't do the ring light because the ring light actually shows in the reflection of your glasses.
That's right.
So what I ended up doing was investing in a pair of box lights. And, you know, right now I have one here and I have one right in front of me, right? So the lighting now, you know, I've got a virtual background and there's a spot here that doesn't want to go away. But what it does for me is it allows me to change out my glasses and there's no glare. And they're high up enough pointing down at me that there's no issue with the glare.
That's
right? You can't put them right in front of you because if I had like one of those loom lights that goes above your camera, it would show up in my eyewear, right? But because the box lights are high enough up and far enough away, it doesn't show. You know, like if I go like that, you can see them. That's how high up that one right there is. But you also get into a mode after you fix your lights and you know the place where they need to be. We were talking before we went on camera and I told you my studio, I have to break it down to some degree every time, right? I finish because there are other things in the room that I need to access and I don't need to be falling over my light and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, once you get the lights adjusted to the location where they're going to be, then you get used to practicing putting your chin down a little bit more if you need to avoid the glare. That was a long answer, but that's it. The right kind of lights. It's not a ring light. You can do a ring light, but it needs to be high up. And I was like, let me just do the box lights and I'll be good. The box lights I have, I don't know if you're providing any links or anything, but the box lights, okay, good. The box lights that I have, I want to say they were less than $200 on Amazon.
I think I might have a link in my Amazon store. I think I do for some shadow boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're wonderful. Like I love them, right? I love them
Yeah.
because I can wear my eyewear without looking crazy.
And they look really good. Like I can clearly see your eyes
Mhm.
every single time on your videos. And I know you're wearing glasses, but I don't see what I see in a lot of people's videos where it's like you either see that blue square,
Yeah, yeah,
because everybody has blue light
yeah,
glasses.
yeah.
Or so good. That's a common question I get asked. And I don't really wear my glasses enough to really, I don't have a
Yeah.
whole formula or anything like that. So thank you for sharing that
You're welcome.
advice for a video, but you just been dropping it for the last several minutes. So I'm like, she just dropped a whole can
Yeah.
of advice for everybody.
But to me, that's part of who I am. And I
Yes.
don't know that I've always known that,
Yeah.
right? The way that I do today. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a position and you have a platform to give people value, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the best way I can describe it. You can't hold back on stuff. Like I
Yeah.
haven't said, well, I don't want to tell her the whole answer because I want people to come find me on social media.
Right.
I'm like, let me just tell you the real
Mhm.
deal. For the folks who are watching this replay, the thing that I want you to understand is you get to be you in everything that you do.
That's right.
Right. When you are trying to be someone else, it shows up in your videos, it shows up in your content. I'm a big TV and movie buff. And there was a time when I used to really enjoy watching Food Network Star, where they are cooking and getting accustomed to being in front of the camera, talking about their food and sharing little stories and all of that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
one of the things I really remember from that is there were people who would come on and they would look and sound like they really had it all together. And the judges would always say, you don't seem real.
Mhm.
You don't seem real. And I think that's true for anyone who does video. Be yourself, be authentic and share value, give and pour into people in a way that they can grow and benefit from the experience of watching you on video.
I love it. I love that everyone that I've invited to this platform, to this interview series
Said the same thing.
yes, but it's a reiteration of things that I think sometimes we're not taught.
Mhm.
Because when you sign up for some of these different programs with the gurus, and I know we probably are considered gurus in our own field, right, WendyY?
Oh,
But I'm
yeah, but
talking
we're
about,
not. Yeah,
yeah, we're
not
we're
like
not
that.
not like that. But sometimes people get sold on the glamour,
Mhm.
and I don't think they're always told the truth. So that's why I appreciate you being truthful and saying what you're saying and not holding back. Because
Mhm.
I've heard people say, hold back, only give them this much. And I want to make sure that people get what they need in that moment. And if you want more of the experience, look, WendyY has a ton of different types of programs and venues and vehicles for people to connect with her. And
Mhm.
she's an amazing coach. In fact, I want to ask you about things that you have coming up and how people can get in touch with you, WendyY. But
Okay.
I know you have, for instance, a Clubhouse platform that you're constantly giving, but you also have paid offers where people can get even more.
Yeah.
So I think that there's opportunity for us to share who we are, to share what we know, and to also be valued, for that, like be
Mhm.
paid for
Mhm.
what we offer. Talk about what you do, like in terms of some of your platforms, WendyY, and I know you have a whole list of them, but I know
I'm
you
not gonna
do.
go through the whole list. I'll tell you a couple.
Okay, give me a couple that you think anybody who's starting out, your
Will be
ideal
here.
audience, who are you typically working with?
I work with coaches,
Okay.
okay, and people that are in what I call the transformation space. That means if you're in the business of changing people's careers, their workplace, their businesses, their lives, their health, their wellness, their whatever it is, you're in the transformation space. So you may call yourself a coach, you may call yourself a strategist, you may call yourself an ambassador, whatever it is. I support coaches, right? And I help them master business. The first aspect of that is infrastructure. So it's business processes and systems and tools and looking at automation. It's also visibility and marketing and non-traditional launch strategies, because I believe that you don't do what you see everyone else do. Yeah. You actually have to identify what works for you and what you can really commit to that's going to be effective for you. And then the last part of it is sales. So sales conversations that convert to cash. Most people see that as one-on-one conversations, but sales conversations extend to your emotional promotional copy, is what I call it, on your sales pages or your landing pages. It includes your email marketing. That's a conversation as well. And you need to be able to use those conversations and leverage them to convert clients from free to paid. Yes. So that's who I work with and how I support my clients specifically.
And what are some of the spaces? Because I know video is a big platform for you, of course, but where do you spend time the most? Because I know you're on Clubhouse.
I am.
You have the videos as well. So give me at least a couple of places where people can follow you and stay in touch.
Yeah, in terms of video, for my web TV show, I go live across, let's see, Facebook, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, my Facebook profile, LinkedIn, and both of my YouTube channels once a week. That's a live stream recording where I'm sharing what I call bonus content around a particular topic. The people who are in my Facebook group usually vote on the topic, and that's how I identify what I'm going to talk about. And then Clubhouse, even though it's not video, I have actually done a Clubhouse. You're going to laugh when you hear me say this. I've actually done a Clubhouse room where I had my iPad and I was on Instagram Live, and I had my phone and I was talking on Clubhouse. So I was delivering the same content simultaneously in the same place. That's why I'm called a force of nature, girl, because I will try something and I feel like I watched it. I said, "Ooh, you look so crazy doing that." Because I was kind of like this and kind of like that, you know, talking back and forth. But people are like, "Yeah, that was great content." And I'm like, okay. I did what I said I was going to do. But yeah, you can find me. Most people can find me at WendyY Bailey across all platforms. Just remember the Y, WendyY Bailey.
Yes. Yes. That is a differentiator for sure. And what I'll do is to make sure that I pop up a banner that has that for you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been fun, Tanya.
This has been fun. I have one last question before we wrap.
Okay.
The last question is there one piece of video equipment, tool, app, one thing that you just can't live without when it comes to your video?
I don't know that I've ever thought about that. Let me see. It's funny. You know what really came up for me first is my fan.
Yeah. Okay.
My fan.
That's legit.
I'm hot all the time, you know, even during the winter months. And when I start talking or teaching and coaching, I get even hotter. So having my fan, and you can see my fan is blowing because my little hair in the front keeps moving a little bit. But having my fan, girl, I gotta have my fan. And I love that meme of Jordan Peele, where he is sweating, like drenched, and it says me waiting on the recording to end so I can turn my fan on. Yes. I turn my fan on. My fan is on all the time.
Yes.
So my fan, I know it sounds like it's not video equipment, but my fan is I gotta have it.
No, that could be crucial, especially because all the lights, they create additional like sweat opportunities. So
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, my
WendyY, thank you so much. I just appreciate you spending the time with us and sharing what you know about video, and your 19 plus years of experience is, I mean, that's valuable. That's high value. So I just want to tell you that I've always enjoyed being in your space, and I know that others that are watching this are going to enjoy what you shared too. And I hope they continue to follow you. So Remember, at Wendy Y Bailey on all the platforms. You can find her wherever it is you prefer to spend time. So LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever it is, that's how you can find her.
Thank you so much, Tanya. This has been great. And, you know, the conversation with you is always wonderful. And yes, I do consider you to be a friend.
All right. We'll call it a wrap.